my makeup loving friends, how's it going? It's been another week, so that means there's a week worth of new makeup releases to talk about. With me this week, I have the gorgeous, beautiful, splendiferous Shanna. She's all the way over from the United States, so we're getting a bit of a transatlantic connection. It's beautiful. Anyways, you know the deal. I'm going to put her channel details down below. She has actually started a series recently on her channel, which is Get It or Forget It. So if you like this style of video, or the whole like, what even is this new makeup thing? Well, go and check out Shanna's channel because she has her own kind of spin on it. And again, you know, I talk about this from like a European perspective. Shanna is over in the States. So the stuff that I often kind of go, oh, I'm not really that bothered about it. She's like, I can kind of get this because this is easily accessible to me. So particularly for our American viewers, I have a very quick little general announcement, and that is that Alien Cosmetics are on the move. Not like metaphorically, like as in they are literally moving locations. So apparently it's going to impact some of their shipping. So they have kind of said to customers if they wanted to cancel things, no harm, no foul. There you go. Anyways, yeah, that's a whole thing. But you know the drill, there's loads of people to thank because without you guys tagging me and stuff, we have no content. So a big thank you to Brianna, Ali, Gillian, Beth, Cecily, Cheryl, Gaia, Daniela, Missa, Missy, Gina, Shanna, Rhiannon, Chrissy, Paula, Emily, Lauren, Jasmine, Franca, JW, Shalina, Susie, Manuela T, Lisa, Rebecca, Tina, Anna C, Matty, Claire C, Tia, Pia, Pidonia, Chloe, Jade S, Amina, Sue, Natalia, and Amy. Hugely appreciated. And as always, a massive thank you to my Patreons, who are, you know, a decent bunch of humans, as humans go. I would still prefer cats, you know, or doggos, anything furry, yeah. But that's nothing, guys. Because this is Shanna's first time on releases and rants, usually what I do is kind of say, hey, you're new, you want to choose the theme? So Shanna was like, oh my God, let's do our favorite like makeup look. So either like a creation or a recreation of things. What I decided to do was a really effed up recreation of when I did the Nebula palette, which was like a double cut crease. But I put in like some little butterflies because I really like them. And it was with a palette that the beautiful Wilma has sent on to me. So there was a lot of favoriting going on here. So yeah, and then Shanna has done her own thing. Tell us about it, Shanna.
So on my Instagram and on my YouTube too, I have a video called, it's like Try and Give Me Glow Cosmetics for the first time. And that's this palette. It's the Vintage Rose palette. I think I love this shit. I'm sorry. I love the crap out of like that brand so much. I'm trying to like, I have stuff in my cart that I'm waiting to buy, but like I have to wait till I get paid again, you know, unfortunately. And I really loved how it turned out. I kind of like did something a little bit different on like the lower lash line for that, and I put on lashes, but other than that, it's basically the same.
As is traditional, my Patreons have done it, and of course are very annoying because they're very talented. So
I know, isn't it so frustrating?
They show me up every week and I'm like, why do I bother? Honestly, I don't know why they watch me, but I do very much appreciate it because they're not learning anything. They're just, I don't know. It's pity views and I appreciate it. So here are my looks. We have 5,000 things to talk about. Not really, that's a bit of an exaggeration. But I mean, the first thing that we have to talk about, there pretty much is 5,000 things in there. My voice is breaking with the thought of how bad this is. I'm already giving my opinion.
It's atrocious.
Yeah. Honestly, this is Revolution and the 5,000th iteration of Friends. Was it even that successful the first time around that they've done this? I believe somebody said this is the fourth time.
It's either the third or the fourth time, so I'm thinking it must be successful in like some sort of way. Otherwise, why the hell would they keep doing it? Like, this is god awful. Listen, there's literally an uncooked chicken as the palette. Why would you want, I mean, it's probably a turkey, but it's an uncooked freaking chicken. Part of this that I like is like the 90s 9-pan little one that's like half of a chicken, because that's like all very neutrally, like that color story makes sense. Not very Thanksgiving-y colors. Like I think of like dark oranges, like golden browns, greens, very like squash and like fall leaves type vibes. That's not it. They even fucked up the mirror. That's the thing. Is like that little coffee cup mirror. Why isn't the mirror the whole coffee cup shape? That would have been cute. And instead it's like this one little rectangle in the middle of it. Like why?
It was just glued on. It's so bad. Like
it is horrible. Don't even get me started on like that little spring giant palette that they have down in the corner, or like those freaking little 9-pans. Those are horrible. Why?
I mean, firstly, that atrocity of a turkey palette. I get why it is that, because you know it's from the Thanksgiving episode where Monica puts the turkey on her head and you know dresses up. That, yeah, whatever. But the shape of the palette makes me want to tear
Throw it
out. Like how would I store that? Not that I would ever buy that to actually have to have that as a problem, but
well. And here's the thing, like I don't get any of this. I've never seen a full episode of Friends in my life. Never. So I don't even get it. My sister would probably understand it, but I don't get it. The only thing I want, even like remotely, which isn't very high up, is this coffee cup thing. And that's just because I like cups. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's Friends. I just like cups.
Yeah. Look, do you know what? We've already given it more than enough time. And there were no expletives. Anyways, when I put it to you guys, there were very similar opinions because only 8% of you loved it. Then the next thing we have is Viseart, and it's quite interesting because they've come out with 2 of their 12-pan palettes, but it's interesting to see them kind of contrasted because one is a jewel-toned colourful one and then the other one is quite like pink-toned neutral. Now these are expensive enough, they're $44, but they're cheap for Viseart, if that makes sense. But I've gotten some of these before and they're deceptively small, but the quality is pretty decent. It's all right. Like I don't hate it. I kind of like the look of the more colorful one. Are we that surprised?
No, I want both of them.
Yeah.
I think I tagged you in this at least once. I like these. I like the fact that that purpley pink one has got like the really nice dark purple shade, and then the one, like, I guess if I have a critique of it, it's the fact that there's not more depth in there. I think it needs like more depth, but it's a good cohesive palette, especially if you're the type of person who likes to do like a matte in the crease and then just a shimmer, like you're a 1 and done or a 2 and done kind of gal or guy. You know, that's gonna be a good palette for you. I'm not like as crazy about the one that you like, the really colorful one, but even that, it's something I would buy and I would use if for no other reason than like on the days, because I work at a makeup store now, like on the days where I just want to do something like super easy, stupid, simple, like done, just done.
Yeah,
you know, I like both of these.
Yeah, I totally agree in terms of the more neutral leaning palette. I think it's just missing one very dark shade, and that I think would have like really elevated it. I don't see these necessarily as standalone palettes, right? I think that both of these palettes, particularly the more colorful one, are more like pop them in and use them with other things than necessarily, oh, I will complete a whole look with this. Yeah.
No, I think like if I was gonna get one of them, I'd probably get the purple leaning one. Not so much like the jewel tone one, but you could like probably twist my arm hard enough and I would purchase both of them.
You guys aren't as easily convinced because when I put it to you guys, 32% of you loved it and 68% said not for me. Then Kiko Milano have come out with their Precious Rituals collection. Now Kiko Milano are actually quite affordable. They kind of range in price from $9.99 up to about $17.99, or there's like a body scrub that's $19.99. But everything is actually quite affordable. We have like some nice foundations, concealers, cleansing oils, eyeliners, eyeshadows, all that general sort of stuff. Their packaging always looks nice, and there's something about this that reminds me of the MAC Tempting Fate collection. I think it might be the Yeah, I will say, and it's something that I've observed from Kiko over the last number of years, months, whatever, that they have a tendency to not really be wildly inclusive in their shade ranges.
No, they honestly, like, it kind of reminds me of, because they're like, are they from Italy? They're like an Italian drugstore brand.
I think they are. Yeah, they're not readily available here in Ireland, so I often just kind of skip on it.
They're not very easily accessible in the US either. That's why I was really surprised when, as far as I know, they're not very easily accessible in the US. So I was surprised to see everything in like dollar amounts, but they kind of remind me of like Physicians Formula with like the shade ranges and stuff and the pricing. So like, I don't know. I like it. Like, if I was just gonna buy something for packaging alone,
Yeah,
I would, but not necessarily for, because I've never tried anything from them. So for me to spend, you know, what is it, $15 on a bronzer or something like that on here? Yeah, or a mascara. $16 on a mascara. It would have to be like, it would have to come very highly recommended from people that I trust, because my favorite mascara is $1.
Can we talk for a second about the really weird brush that's up on the top left-hand corner?
What?
That looks like Lego bricks.
I almost wonder if it's for like something to do with the body, because that's a weird brush. It honestly kind of looks like a back brush you use in the shower.
It does, doesn't
So
it? It's just,
it does.
They like link it with all of this. So it's like, oh, here's some bronzers and blushes, and here's this.
Weird brush.
What is it? I guess it's for the Lego enthusiasts amongst us. Is the way that I look at this one. Like, do you know what? It's an okay collection. Nothing there is interesting to me, but I've heard good things about the brand, and some people really like give it the okay, but I've never tried it, so I can't really verify. But quite a few of you were semi-interested. I will say the bloody embossing does give it that very luxe feel. When I put it to you guys, 36% of you said love. Speaking of absolutely gorgeous embossing, can we talk about this? The very, very beautiful Flower Nose Global Unicorn Blushes. It's apparently an Asian brand. They are quite established, apparently. I've never heard of them before.
Neither have I.
But they have these 3 different blushes. And well, there's an orange blush, which are you surprised that I'm interested in that? But oh my god, the actual embossing is just so cute. I immediately tagged Anna because Anna loves unicorns. I just thought this was so cute.
I want all 3 of them, if for no other reason than that embossing. Would I get them? Probably not. Like, not me personally, just because it looks like they have some shimmer in them, which means like they're gonna be a glowy blush, and I quite enjoy glowy blushes, but I already have literally a drawer full of glowy blush. I keep wanting to say brushes. Glowy blushes that I enjoy from a brand that I enjoy. So I'm not really super keen on trying anything else, especially like if it says it's an Asian brand. My big concern with that is the opacity of it, because like I'm like shade blind, so if I say something's pink and it's bright orange, please don't hate me. And like I'm also just visually impaired in general, so I tend to go for colors that are like going to be deeper so I can see them a little bit more on my own complexion. And Asian makeup, I think, tends to be more sheer.
Yeah.
So for me, I wouldn't purchase this. I think it's beautiful. I really, really do, but I think it's just not meant for me.
And that's okay. I think they've marketed it very, very well.
Yes, A plus 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 on like the embossing, on just like looks alone. If looks would sell it, this would be. It's beautiful. I love it.
When I put it to you guys, 56% of you said love, which, thank you.
Makes sense.
General consensus on this general loveliness. So I have to agree there. Alien Cosmetics have this Witching Hour palette, and that is coming out on the 18th of October. There are 6 mattes and 3 shimmer shades, and it's $35 US. The color story is super Halloween.
I don't like it.
Judas, blasphemy! me. Burger at the stick. I love it. But to be fair, there are 3 greens in there, one of which is a chartreuse. And
oh, is that what that yellow shade is? Is that green?
yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. I thought that was yellow.
Yeah. So like for me, that's my kind of thing. Like I like greens, I like purples. I could probably do without the red and the oranges. But I like this. It makes a lot of sense. Am I gonna buy it? No. $35.
I don't like it.
Yeah, Shana's always gonna buy it. She loves it. She's actually decided that this is going to be the only palette that she wears for the rest of the year.
If I were to buy it, maybe, but like I don't like it.
Yeah.
It does not appeal to me in like any sort of way. It's actually kind of a little bit confusing to me because that potion shade, it looks like it's very, very dark blue to me. It could be purple. It looks like it's very dark blue though. And then with all like the oranges in there, if this was like strictly like a green burgundy palette or like a green purple palette, I could get behind that. But this honestly looks like a mini rainbow palette to me. I don't like rainbow palettes. I do not like them. I do not use them. So this is like, I do not like this.
Totally fair. And it's that shade is quite a blurple, like it's a blue leaning purple. So I can see that. I can see this palette as being quite intimidating to, and I don't think this is a standalone palette. I think this is a palette that you have to get something else in there with, either pigments or, you know, some other bits and pieces. I personally like it because I think I like each of these shades individually, but I am happy to smash anything onto my face. I think it's nice, but there you go. It's okay that we disagree. I mean, I'll obviously never talk to Shanna again. This is the end of our friendship, I'm afraid. It was very...
I was just glad when you said we were friends. I'm like, okay.
It was a very brief friendship. It lasted all of 0.1 seconds. But anyways, when I put it to you guys, 60% of you said that you also love it. I swear, is this the episode with just the nice embossing?
It must be.
Like, it feels like it, because this is freaking fabulous cosmetics, which I do love their confidence. You know, like,
yeah,
we are freaking fabulous. I'm like, okay, but they have their Swans duochrome eyeshadow palette. So there are 8.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah, so there are 8 shades, and apparently the pan size is 3.5 centimeters. So again, not a standalone palette, but I think it's very smart to have a palette of duochromes. But it is $85.21.
Are you shitting me?
No, I am not.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
So that works out as being a little over $10 per shade.
Absolutely not.
I have to say, right, I like the idea. I think the embossing gorgeous. I have no issue with that. But the price is what's really... Do you know what? If they said to me that's $60, I'd be like, okay, it's pricey, but I can understand. Because I know that duochromes, they are a little bit more expensive to formulate. And it would work out then as being $7.50 per shade.
That I could get behind.
And then I'd kind of be like, okay, that makes sense to me. This is going to be a splurge, but you know what? This is going to be my special duochrome palette. I'm not going to have to buy any other duochromes. I'm done now. Because I think that's the smart way of having things, is to have like a dedicated duochrome palette that if you're looking for a duochrome, you just go to that and you're done. Nice idea, you know. But
that's a bit of a stretch for the price.
It seems a lot of you guys had similar thoughts, because 38% of you said that you loved it and 62% said not for me. This next one is from Lethal Cosmetics. Lethal Cosmetics are a German brand. So they came out with the Berlin 89 collection. Quick history fact, 1989 was the year that the Berlin Wall fell. Hasselhoff was at his height of fame in Germany at the time, which is why I assume there are some references to him in the palette. Now, I discussed this palette with the lovely Franca, who is from Germany, and she lived in Germany during this time, and she says that the colours do not really represent the state of play at the time. What I think they have done is that they've, and again, I like Lethal Cosmetics, I do, I really like them as a brand. Now, I don't get this colour story, I don't like this colour story. Not for me at all. How do I say this nicely? Is an ugly palette. Wouldn't know what to do with it, and I'm usually fairly like, okay, smash something onto my face with confidence, but it feels like they almost took like a color storyboard or mood board of what some of the popular colors were in the early 90s, which isn't even the correct time period in the Western world. And Germany, yes, we now consider it to be part of the Western world, but when we look at 1989, it wasn't really, because there was still like, it was a wall, like there was a lot of greys. It was just, I don't understand it, and I would have thought like a German brand would have done it a little bit differently. It's, yeah. If you had to push me for anything, I'd say the gel liners, because I like liners, like a wildly surprising thing. And the liquid shadows look okay, but for €21 each, nah, I have my lowest cosmetics. They are my ride or die. I'm quite happy with those.
The only reason I could think of was like when the Berlin Wall fell, was that like a good thing?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not like up to date on history. I spend too much time looking at makeup. The only thing I can think of is that maybe like this was supposed to be like a celebration palette for that, like to signify like the celebration of the wall falling. But it's still, it's not even like, if you're gonna do that, I think it should be brighter. This is like kind of weird because to me it looks like a cross between like a wannabe rainbow palette bordering into like a fall palette, and those two genres I do not think mix very well. And then to sell it based on something, like even if it was a good thing that happened, to sell it based on a history event, that's I don't like that. That'd be like somebody trying to sell something based on like 9/11 when the Twin Towers fell.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this is like a positive event, but it is weird to kind of mix history and makeup in that sense. Because like the wall in Berlin, it separated families, it divided communities for decades. So like it was a great thing when it fell, but it should have never been there in the first place. So it's kind of, it's
kind of redundant to celebrate.
Yeah, it's a strange one. But even like if I'm looking at the colors, I'm like, I wonder if it's kind of the colors that some of the graffiti would be, because I know that people graffitied an awful lot on the walls. It does look like almost the colors that you would have of like graffiti paint.
That wouldn't make sense, but it's just the idea that like they're trying to sell it based on a historically bad.
I thought it was really interesting because when I put it to you guys, 36% of you said love it. Can I just say, this next one, I am very excited about this. I'm not even going to dance around this. I do find it interesting that Norvina is definitely edging themselves out as being the colourful part of the brand. They're really like, boom, boom, look at me, which I'm like, hi, I see you. This is interesting to me. And in case, you're kind of like waiting on us to announce it, the bloody picture is there. Look at it. It's beautiful, beautiful eyeliners. And it is a rainbow array. There's 16 shades. It's a matte finish, and they're already out now.
Okay, here's the deal. I would buy all of those. Even like my neutral wearing self, I would buy all of those. Just because like you said, I'm not as into color as you are, but like I do like mess around with it every once in a while. So I would buy all of these. I think some of the shades look too similar to each other. Like I think they could have added more depth to that. Like those top 4 shades, those are all kissing cousins. And like the three purpley pink shades that are by the white ones, like those are all kissing cousins, and like all those really pale colors, those are really close too. I think they could have done either a better job of culling the colors down or made them more different appearing, or there need to be swatches so I can see those.
Yeah.
But I don't think there were.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find any at the time, and I'm too lazy to go and find any now.
Right.
So if you're interested, you go and find that, because I'm tired and old. I like the look of this. I think you're exactly right. It isn't edited down quite as much as it could be. That being said, though, there are kind of shades that there are undertones that will or will not go with your own coloring, and I think that may be what they've done here. So I think this is actually very, very smart. I think colorful eyeliners are something that's kind of like a love of quite a few people, because even if you're a neutral wearer, that's a fun way to bring in a bit of color, is to put a little bit of color on the waterline, you know.
That's what I do.
I love that. That's my way to wear neutral when I do wear neutral and try to pretend that I'm a normal person. Like, I'm like, I've snuck a little bit of lime green onto my face, because it's the law. I think this is absolutely fabulous. Do you know what I really hope they do? I hope that they come out with a Christmas vault collection of like mini ones of these.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be such a nice idea?
Yes.
Because I would,
Especially if we get it at Ulta and I can use my discount.
because I would be so on for that, because I don't know about you, but like eyeliners, it takes me forever to get through them.
Yeah.
But the mini ones, Norvina, you can use that idea. Like,
But Teresa's like, but I want my cut.
yeah, well, I don't even necessarily want my cut. I just want the bloody liners.
Yes.
I'm so easy to buy off. Like, let's be fair. When I put it to you guys, 65% of you said that you love this. I totally agree. It's mid-October, so I am okay-ish with holiday stuff starting to seep in now. I'm kind of like, okay, I've given up the battle. Natasha Denona is coming out with this holiday palette. Now, it's actually the mini Metropolis, and it comes with an eyeshadow brush. It's $25. However, 4 of the shades are the exact same as in the big Metropolis, and there's only one new shade. This pisses me off no end, right? Why would I pay $25 for a mini Metropolis when if I really liked it, I could just go.
You would go have the one by the big one.
Yeah, which by the way, I have been eyeing for quite some time, and I blame you, Daniela, if you're watching. You used the Metropolis on me in Aloha, and now I have vivid dreams about it. So thank you, you bastard. But I'm not going to go off and buy $25 or buy this for $25 when I could get far more shades and the whole thing together for, I think, is it $125? Like, no.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't buy, honestly, either one of them. Have you ever heard of Alter Ego?
Yes.
Like, they came out with a dupe for the Metropolis palette, and I didn't like that. I realized it's not going to be the exact same, but I did not like it. And then looking at this, even with Natasha Denona, I like that 1, 2, 3, the third and the fourth shade in the palette, though I would hesitate to call this a palette even.
Yeah.
I like those 2 colors, but that's it.
Yeah.
I do not like the rest of it. I think that, especially like if this is $25, you guys, like I can tell just looking at it, it's cheap ass packaging because it's plastic. It's plastic as hell. And I'm sorry, if you're paying $25 for something, even if it is Natasha Denona, and like I said earlier, Natasha Denona, she's a world-renowned makeup artist. So like that's gonna get her foot at least like almost all the way in the door for people to purchase her stuff. But for that much money, baby, when the pans are only like this, like the size of a quarter or smaller, give me something with the packaging.
Yeah.
You know, Pat McGrath gets away with those quads that she does because even though they're only 4 shades and those are almost $70, the packaging is luxe as hell.
Yeah.
You know, so that, no, just no.
I agree on so much of this. I also saw, and we haven't included this because very few people tagged me in this, but they're coming out with like a little mini trio thing, like a trio eyeshadow thing, and it's pale as hell, and I'm just like, no, Natasha, no, I haven't included it. If you're interested, go have a little look on Trendmood or whatever it is out there. I think this is terrible. I don't like it. Not a lot more to really say on that. It feels like she's trying to dupe her customers. And I don't like that. 48% of you loved it though. So there you go.
The only thing I can think of though as to why she would have done this is I almost wonder if those are like the most if those 4 shades that are from the original palette, I almost wonder if those are like the 4 most popular shades out of that. And if that's the case, or those are the colors that people like the most, then that would make sense as to why she came out with such like a smaller version of it. But just no. The 48% of you like this. Like, is it because I'm genuinely curious? Is it because you like the Metropolis palette already and you have it, and like, or is it just the fact that you like how condensed down it is? I'm really curious about that, because I think the 52% of you that said no thanks, like, good for you. I'm very proud of you. But the 48%, I'm like, what's going on up here, babe? Like, what's going on?
Send your answers on a postcard to Shanna, and she's going to review them over the next couple of months and reply back with some detailed analysis of your general well-being. So there you go. Is it just me, or is Jeffree Star Cosmetics coming out with a lot of stuff recently? I remember a time way back in the ether when we were allowed outside and did things. I mean, we're allowed outside again, but it's a weird time. But I remember way back in the time, we were like all excited about anything that he would come out with, and it would be months between releases. But I am pretty darn certain we just talked about his terribly named Pricked collection, and before that there was like the Ranch palette, which was like neutral with a pop of blue. Now we have the Weirdo collection, so it seems to be a kind of a hark back to his MySpace days. Now I'm old enough to remember MySpace and all of the strange times associated with it, and that's actually how Jeffree Star shot to fame, was through MySpace. Do you know what? Looking at the palette, it makes an awful lot of sense, given that it's kind of an homage to that time period. Like, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I do see the mid-noughties, and I do see that emo punk scene kid type thing there. Like, it kind of makes sense to me. The liquid lips, yeah, they're all right. Weirdly, like, normally I really like the look of his liquid lips, even though I'm not buying anything from him. But these ones, I don't know, there's something about maybe the finish of them. They're too shiny.
I think it's because they're not actually his. That's why they're the Supreme glosses. They're not his like velour liquid lips.
It's coming out on October the 15th, if anybody is interested.
The only thing I want out of this collection then is like that giant ass mystery box, but it's $300 and I'm not spending that much money.
When it came to the palette, 19% of you said that you loved it, and when it came then to like the glosses, 14% of you said that you love it. This is Martine Cosmetics, and this is the 669 collection. I friggin' love the look of this palette. I think this looks really nice. It's like a mixture between the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse palette and something else. I like it. It's a little bit grungy. It's a little bit like gothy. It's like wearable goth.
Yes.
Goth.
I like it too.
To the office, you know, for your working time goth. It's not for you, Jane. You're retired. Go back. You don't need it. It's $63.58. There are 2 dark matte liquid lipsticks. So they're like a red and I think like a green. And then they have some, I do love that it's called dark hole liners. Elena, that's for you, for your deep dark holes. Elena knows what I'm talking about. It wasn't me hinting at any sort of orifices on her body.
Are you sure about that?
Well, all I'll say is we were very friendly on her trip here in March. The liners are $14.98. I like this collection. I think it's really, like, it's in my mind neutral. Like, this is what I think of as neutral, but it's like, it's kind of a little bit grungy. It's cool toned. It feels vampy. It's a lot of the adjectives that I like.
I would agree for the same reasons. Like I like the fact that even like the matte to shimmer ratio, the shimmers are like a little bit more heavier than what I would normally purchase, but they all go so well together. And unlike a lot of brands that have got like this size palette, none of them are so close that like I'm like, okay, you could have taken that out and given me like a matte that had more depth, because they have the depth, they have the blending out shades, they have the different colored shimmers. So I like this. I would consider purchasing this.
Yeah, I think this looks very nice, and even the packaging. However, you guys are clearly broken and it's been a difficult week because only 46% of you said that you loved it. It seems that Spectrum of the brushes have done a Mean Girls collaboration, and this is already out, so you can get the full collection together for £69.99, and that's the launch offer, but apparently it's normally going to be £79.99. Now, don't get me wrong, love a bit of Mean Girls, I think it's quite good. However, and I do like Spectrum brushes, I think they're very, very good, but I have a million pots of brushes right now, and I was like, when I'm done with my makeup and I'm washing my brushes, I notice what it is that I've been using, and I don't use Spectrum that often. Don't need more.
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like the color. I hate the color. Like pink is my least favorite color. I think that if they were gonna do this, they could have done like more of a full kind of collection and done like a full face and eye set, and that would have been like made more sense. Because like I can always use more eye brushes, especially since I don't wash mine that often.
Yeah.
You know? But like I don't like pink. I've never seen Mean Girls, so it's not getting me on the nostalgia. I don't like it. I think it's actually kind of butt ugly.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't think this is executed as well as it could have been. I think like even the bristles are a very dark pink, and I would have preferred a lighter color personally. Or maybe like even just a black or something. There's something about that shade which doesn't, and that's very like superficial, like whatever, it's a brush. It wouldn't be for me. Now, if it turned up in TK Maxx or TJ Maxx as the Americans call it, and it was there for €20, I'd be like, you know what? Can always do with a couple more brushes. Why not?
Yep.
Am I going to buy it at full price? Absolutely not. I am insane. Well, no, I can't say that.
You are, but not that way.
Yeah, but I have some amount of sense. You know, I'm not a danger to others. Like I'm just a danger to my bank balance usually. When I put it to you guys, again, consensus was there. 33% of you said that you loved it. So the majority were like, not for me, which, you know, fair. In the year that has brought us the weirdest possible collaborations, Colourpop kind of basically went, hey, hold my beer, because we're now doing a sports collaboration. But I think it's basketball. Yeah, it's basketball, and it's 6 of the teams. So Boston Celtics, Chicago Bulls, Dallas Mavericks, Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, and Miami Heat. And that's coming out October 15th.
To be quite honest, the only one I've even really heard, I don't watch sports. Like I said, like when I was growing up, everybody was really into sports. I could never see the TV to watch them. So I never got into it. The only one I would even like consider purchasing is the green one.
Yeah.
But I think that's too close to like just my luck, honestly. And I didn't like that one. I think these are ugly as hell.
Yeah.
I really, really do. I think sport team, because I'm assuming that these are based on the jerseys, just because jerseys have usually got like the colors of the team. No. Why? I would love to know the reasoning why, because if you look at like the blue palette, those shades are almost identical. There's not even really that much variation. So they know that the jersey has only got like, I think the most colorful jersey I've ever seen is 3 colors. So I think these just don't make sense for the brand. I think that the NBA must be paying them a hell of a lot of money to do this, because this is butt ass ugly.
It's terrible.
It's awful.
Colourpop are having to take their branding, like they're having to take the NBA's branding. So actually they would have had to have paid the NBA.
Why?
I know.
There are so many other cute collaborations that they could have done versus this.
Or and here's a wild, a bold idea even. Don't do it. Just don't. You don't have to do a collaboration. You just leave it.
Because these are all repeat shades. Like that Chicago Bull one, that one, I have all of those colors within the Cherry Crush, the whatever, and Water or Main Squeeze. The green one is Just My Lux, or Just My Lux, Just My Luck mixed with whatever the Mint to Be one. The freaking Warriors one, that's a neutral palette with like 2 pops of blue. You have that already. Like freaking Greek Goddess palette from Lunar Beauty, you have that.
Yeah.
That purple, that's hideous. That is so bad. There's no way in hell you'd even be able to blend those together just because of color theory. Like the purple and the yellow, that would make brown. So if you want like a lovely neutral, like ugly ass brown color, go ahead. But no, that doesn't even make sense. The Miami Heat one, that's like a warm tone neutral palette. I have that. The blue one, you already heard my opinion on it. That's like their Frozen Elsa palette all over again. You have all of these. I guarantee you. These are ass ugly. Enough said. I'm done.
I mean, say you don't have the Lakers one, which is the purple and yellow one, and you don't have it for a reason. It's awful. It is absolutely terrible. Now, when I put it to you guys, again, the masses won out. 8% of you said you love it, but I will say I got a flurry of frenzied messages in my DMs going, I meant to say no. So I'm just going to say that we all unanimously have.
I was going to say, like, if you were part of that 8%, you need to go like, get your head checked.
Yeah, but you're all right. Don't worry. I know you're okay. I know you're okay. Game Beauty are coming out with their Harbinger palette, and that's out now from the 15th of October. I have to say, their marketing picture is exceptional. Like, I think they've done really, really well with like launching that and making that look the part. And I like that, you know, they're coming out with something like during autumn or fall, as our American counterpart would call it. Words are hard tonight, but I like that they didn't go with an autumn sort of look. They have instead, I think, quite smartly gone into a more winter theme because, you know, winter is coming. I like the look of this. Cool toned. I think it's very wearable. I think this is like a little dab of color without getting too like risque. I think
the only shade that like I like this, and I don't know how you say her last name, but Angelica Neatfist.
Yeah.
She loves Game Beauty, and I really like her, so I would be willing to buy this just based on like if she were to review it and she gave it like a go ahead, I would probably purchase this. I will say that top right shimmer shade, I'm hoping that's a shimmer shade with like chunky glitter, because otherwise I think it looks like mold.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a bit weird.
I hate those sort of shadows. They stress me out.
It looks like mold.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as like the hooded naughty nice thing.
No. That was god awful.
When I put this to you guys, 35% of you said that you loved it. Beauty Creations are coming out with 3 palettes for Halloween. So there's the Fortune Teller, the Ringmaster, and the Circus Clown. They're $19 each, or you can get them in a PR collection box for $55. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't know what it is. They're too washed out. It feels like they came up with a kind of a color story and then they dialed back the saturation by about 80%. And you're just going to get a wash of color, which I guess if it is a pastel palette, yeah, grand, but it's just not for me. Like when I think of like circus, which I'm not a big, I don't like circuses because there's clowns and I hate clowns. Well, no.
But it's like bright, bold colors. It's all about vibrancy. And if these are washed out, that doesn't make sense. I can't even look at the colors because of the packaging.
Yeah.
I think that's horrible. It's like those Made by Mitchell palettes. The outside of it, like if it was just on the outside, that would be fine. But once you start bringing in the crazy patterns to the inside of the palette, it's too distracting. That's not a good way to sell it. And why on the top left one, like why are the second, third, fourth, and fifth shade all the same?
Yeah. Oh, it's
why? And then like that whole bottom quad or those 9 pans right in the bottom right, those are all the same. Those 2 blue shades are all the same. Like there's so many duplicates. They could have edited this down to like a 15 or a 16 pan palette. They could have edited it down by half.
I 5,000% agree. This is definitely an edit yourself sort of a situation. They did not have 3 palettes. In my opinion, what they should have done is have one big palette one medium palette and then one small palette. Then you could kind of choose what you wanted from that. But in all, I think this doesn't really make sense, particularly if you're thinking about like a circus theme. Like it's so washed out that it doesn't make sense. And to be fair, it seems a lot of you thought the exact same thing because only 20% of you said that you love them. Then we have Danessa Merrick's. So Danessa Merrick's is obviously, it's this very well-known brand by a makeup artist, hence the, I don't want to say extortionate, but I'm going to say extortionate price tag. This is the Lightwork Volume 3 Infinite Light Palette. It is limited edition. It's $125 and it is an all-over face palette. Now, the 4 shades in the middle are essentially like holographic powder, so you can use them as highlight shades and as toppers. Interesting looking, I have to say. Like, I'm intrigued by it, but am I going
Did you say $125?
Exactly. That's the thing that I'm like, oh,
Okay, well, let me like burst the bubble a little bit more then. Those 4 middle shades, they all from this picture look exactly the same. I realize like holographic means it's going to be like very rainbow, but if that's the case, if they're true holographics, you don't need 4 of them unless the bases are very different. And if they're going based on this picture, they cannot be that freaking different to look that similar in a photo. Those, just know, like the above them, the 3rd and the 5th shade, those are the same. They could come out, or one of them could. The on the bottom, the 2nd and the 3rd shade could, like, one of those could come out. This could be, just no. What? Why?
You know what? Right, I got some messages in my DMs on this, and I do love it when you guys message me on this because I get some really nice insights on this. And I had a few people who are MUAs, and they're like, I have so much Danessa Merrick's in my kit. I really swear by it. I think this is exactly what this is. This is for a makeup artist, right? And if you look at it in that sense, you're like, do you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. Is it for the average makeup user? Probably not.
I still don't get it. Like, if I need a makeup artist to explain this to me, because this still doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah, explain yourself.
I'm intrigued by it. Do you know what? If it was put in front of me, I'd be very busy swatching. You know, I'd be like covering myself. And I do like the looks of those blue shades. I think it's really, really interesting. I know I do want to get something from Danessa Merrick's at some point, but as of yet, I haven't bit the bullet. There hasn't been something that has like grabbed me so much that I'm like, it must be mine.
I mean, if this were to show up on my doorstep, I wouldn't be mad. Yeah. Because I do think it's quite pretty. I wouldn't be mad if it showed up on my doorstep, but there's no way on God's green earth that I'm going to go out of my way to purchase this, let alone spend, like, I would not spend $60 on this, because just no. Like, let alone double that for $125.
I think Danessa knows her market, and I think a lot of it is pro MUAs, and I think it's the MUAs that are going to get a lot of use out of this. It's not really us bog standard, you know, general everyday makeup users, because again, when I look at what you guys thought, 24% of you said that you loved it. Jaclyn Cosmetics are coming out with the holiday collection, so it's holiday collection, kind of like the little pun there of holiday. You know, I'm like, do you know what? Yeah, we'll let it be. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lip lacquer, there's the Winter Sun face palette, there's an oil primer, kind of like shimmery top coats for the eyes, there's more liquid lipsticks, lip liners, all that sort of thing. Like, I'd swipe past it. Like, if this was Tinder, I would have gotten into my rhythm of swiping left, because that's what I did back in the day. But like, no. And I would just pass by this. There's nothing in here that immediately grabs me from this, in my opinion.
Those little potted eyeshadow topper things, those are ColourPop. Let me tell you what, those are exactly like the ColourPop Super Shots. Those liquid lips, no, just no. You have those colors already. I don't care if you love her formula. It's nothing that revolutionary. I will choke you, okay? The lip liners, same thing. Like, they're nothing revolutionary, and from what I understand, they're not even good. Like, they're not that great. That primer oil thing, if you have the Smashbox ones, you probably have that one. That cheek palette thing, who is that for? because what is that? That's like a white powder that's like a goldeny powder and like a pinky orangey red one. So is that supposed to be a face palette for pale people, or is that supposed to be like it's one size fits all type thing so that everybody has a shade in there? And if that's the case, then there needs to be one that's deeper, because that's just bullshit. And those lip lacquer things, just no. I mean, those are kind of pretty, so maybe, but just no. And then did you see the prices on this stuff?
I mean, the prices are nuts.
She is trying to bundle them too. Like, I was on Trendmood earlier and she's got them bundled for prices. The cheapest bundle is $60. And it's for I think it's for the lip lacquers. One of them is $125. One of the bundles is $125 for a brand that is co-owned by Morphe. Hell no.
And I think that's a really important point, is the whole co-owned by Morphe. Because if you look at things like, say, the face palette, I am 99.9% certain that there is a face palette like that in the Morphe back catalogue. Right, here's the thing. I wish people every success in their thing. I never want to see anyone fail. Just on this one, I'm kind of like,
I wish she would be more innovative.
Yeah.
Innovative, because she has it in her. Yeah. Those loose blushes that she did, those loose powdered blushes, I've been like messing with makeup since I was old enough to like steal my mom's. I've never seen anything like that I can remember. Those loose blushes, like, yeah, maybe they weren't meant for everybody, but the thought was behind them. This is just, and okay, can I have a conspiracy theory really quick too? Yeah. I think she has a contract with Morphe, or it's like written into her branding when Morphe saved her ass after her lipstick debacle thing, that she's not allowed to come out with an eyeshadow palette from Jaclyn Cosmetics. Because how many eyeshadow palettes has she released now with Morphe? There was the really, really old one that was in the black packaging, like Jaclyn's favorites or whatever. There was volume 1. There was the Vaults. So that's 6 eyeshadow palettes right there. There's volume 2. That's 7. Now she's got this 8th one that's coming out.
Yeah.
Her brand is, like, I don't want to say old enough now, but it's been around long enough now that by most times brands are starting to come out with eyeshadow palettes for as long as her brand has been around. And the fact that she's really known for her eyeshadow look, I don't think she's really known for like her lipstick, her highlight, and her eyes. I feel like that's what she's really known for. And she's not coming out with it. I think she's reaching at this point for everything. And I bought her blush palette and I'm eager to try that out, but that's it.
Yeah, totally fair. Look, I mean, I really want her to come out with something that's like super, super interesting, and like, it's one of those things that I'd love to see her do well, because again, it's one of those, it's just like, you want to see somebody do well. Nobody wants to see somebody fall. But it just, on this occasion, it just isn't for me. But when I put it to you guys, 17% of you guys said that you were interested. Now we're on to sneak peeks. So we're going to fly through these because these are stuff that aren't available yet, but that are coming soon. Patrick Ta is coming out with a blush palette. So it seems that there's kind of 2 different formulas. One is a cream and one is a powder. So it's like an extension of their duos that they already have, but in a bigger format. I think this is a decent idea. I'm hoping he comes out with more than just the pink variations and kind of does other things with it, because if he does, I think this is interesting.
Yeah, I would, if this wasn't like just the pink blushes, I would buy this. Like if it was more peachy, like, or reddish tones, I would buy that. I like the idea of it. I think this is like, I think kind of innovative, but also just because he's really known, because his eyeshadow palette had those 2 cream eyeshadows in there. And then his contour duo things have got like a cream product and a powder. So this is like going with his brand, but it's also, you don't usually see like cream and powder products together like that. The only other one I can think of is Natasha Denona. So I'm wondering if that's like a makeup artist thing too.
Possibly. Look, I like the idea of this. And I think, again, I love it when a brand has like a cover to protect the cream from getting the powder into it. This is just, it's clearly made by somebody who understands the general logistics of makeup. Like I said, I hope there's lots of color variations, or at least if this is the start of a line, I think this could be interesting. Like, I don't hate this as an idea. When I put it to you guys, 36% of you said yes, please. So I'm assuming it's because we want to see more color variations. Morphe have announced their
Speak of the Demon.
Yeah, and this is coming out mid-November, and look, like, no, just, I mean, that's the nicest way of saying it, really, is just say no. Just say no, kids. They already have, I don't know how many times over. Yeah, they're affordable, but you know what? I think their formula is very hit or miss. There's not a lot more to say on it, lads. You wanted us to show it, so there you go. And 7% of you said that you want it. I guess, there you go. The last thing that we're going to talk about is a sneak peek of QC Queen Cosmetics, and this is their Military Queens palette, and that's coming out in November. I quite like the look of this. It's quite grungy. There's some kind of pops of color. I think this is interesting to me.
I would like it better if there wasn't like the two ruddy oranges shades and then like that blue. I think those are kind of like not belonging in the palette that is very, it seems to be leaning like more neutral, greeny, grungy. Those are like too bright and too opposite in like the color wheel to kind of really.
It's almost like it's a bit disjointed that they had 3 empty spaces and just grabbed the shades that happened to be nearest to them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think they could have, and like that would have been just like a column, because those are 3 shades. If they'd gotten rid of that, then I think it would be pretty much the perfect palette.
Yeah, because I like it other than that. Like there's like a black shade so you can lighten or you can darken all the colors. It's a very white shade at the very top. And then, you could do a lot with this. I just don't like those 3 colorful shades.
Do you know, I agree, because I can't think how they would work together myself. So when I put it to you guys, it was a very like splitting thing, because 49% of you said that you loved it. That means we're at the very end of it all. Now, I do have my favourite comment of the week to talk about, and I'm going to flash it on screen because it's from a girl, Chrissy. She said, "Hi my darlings, yay, managed to watch without falling asleep." Because, by the way, Chrissy falls asleep during every episode of Releases and Rants. My voice lulls her to sleep. All of my videos do, apparently. And don't worry, me and Chrissy get on really, really well. This is our banter. It's fine. She said, "There's a few bits I want this week, especially the Book of Spells second. Mind you, after all the shit that you had this week, I'm going to wait to see if it comes to Beauty Bay. I'm on a second no-buy this month. Don't know how long it will last, though." And the reason why I thought that was hilarious is the last no-buy that Chrissy had ended in spectacular fashion with her just buying about 20 palettes in one go, and I was like, oh my god.
Girl, I got you though. I feel you, because I just did that with Cult Beauty. I got the two Vive palettes that they've released so far. I bought the blush, I bought the highlighter, I bought 2 lipsticks, I bought 3 lip liners, I bought 2 eye wands, and then don't even get me started on all the shit that I bought from Ulta. Like, I have a haul up of it on my channel. Like, I'm plugging myself now.
And then she said, "Mind you, I could always say to my hubby something is nice, and a few days later it arrives. I need to teach Cecile about that." Then she said, "Can't wait to see you all making mischief together. If I had any holidays left, we'd be in a plane too." Yeah, you better, as soon as you can come over, come and visit. I hope you have an amazing week, ladies, and Teresa. I hope you're feeling better today. I mean, I'm still a bit hoarse, but it's grand. Well, that's it, lads. That's the end of the thing. Do please like, comment, and subscribe. Go follow Shanna in the nice way, not in the creepy Netflix kind of way, even though a new season is out now as this is out. So actually, if you're not watching this, I assume it's because you're watching you. Now I'm just plugging Netflix. Chaos. Anyways, do please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you can see more releases and rants and all the other things that we do over here. Do please share, because sharing is caring. Unless, of course, it's an STD, in which case, just wrap it up. Don't be gross.
Yeah, keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah. Seriously.
I'm gonna get you demonetized. I just thought about that.
Fine. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.